Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Um, we are going to do this portrait of the celebrity model, and it's a portrait study. So I'm going to show you how to do this. And in this last time we talked about how to draw the portrait by using a reference point and then building around it. If you didn't see my videos, please check it out. And we talked about how to visualize the line and how to see everything before you draw it, right? This time we're going to do it slightly differently. I'm going to show you a different approach. We're going to lay out the overall broader shapes first. For example, this one is an oval or a square, or is the face round? And then we're going to build on it by drawing lines. So here you go, okay? The first thing I want to do with this drawing is to be able to make sure that the direction of the head, the tilt, is correct. So it's like this. Just to get a feel, I'm going to let it. So I want to make sure that this is where this is. It's like this. And I'm keeping the lines light so you can get an idea about how I'm trying to establish this, okay? So you see how our face is, right? And we're going to get the proportions right, and the likeness is going to come later. Once again, remember, this is a study. So I'm establishing the broader directions. See, that's the way she is. And this is the angle. The angles and the directions are very important, okay? So, and the distances. So you see that how large is the forehead. That's where the directions are. So I'm going to map this like this and just put lines. You see, this is where the eye is. Right there. And this is where the eye is. And it's actually a straight line, but you're going to make sure that there's enough gap between the eyes. And you have to understand that you're going to make sure that the eye is behind the eyebrow. So I'm just putting dots right now just to map it, okay? See, and also I want to make sure that the direction is correct. And it's like that, the chin, something like so, right? And then we have a little, I'm going to do this in two parts, so in the second part we'll finish it. In the first part we're going to lay out the basics. So now you see I have this correctly laid out, right? There's a little tilt right there, and I'm still looking at those broad shapes to get this right. And modern technology is terrific because you can always use a cell phone, and don't let people tell you that you can't draw from photographs. You should be able to draw from anything because it's actually a mental exercise. And it's right there. All these are very important for you to get it right, and you want to be able to make sure that you have that gap, so you need to push that upward a little bit. We'll come back to that later, and that's what I'm trying to establish here, okay? And you always keep an eraser handy, so it's somewhere like something like so for now, okay? Now we come back here, and the nose. And to do the nose, right, it's very tricky, but this is how you do it. Visualize it first always, okay? And come down here. You don't have to draw the whole line. You follow the line. You see how I'm following it with my pencil, but I'm not actually drawing it. So then you come and you just put a tiny little mark there, just like so, because that's where it is. But is that long enough? Maybe not. You know, you're going to have to make those judgments later and fix them. But at this point, you can always make corrections afterward, but I'm trying to get the borders, you see. Now, I try to give enough, keeping this in mind, in proportion and in relationship to this, right? How far away is the mouth? How big, how wide, and what is a characteristic, you know? There you go, something like so. something like that. And then the lower lip. It's kind of not perfect, but it's right getting there slowly. So we're doing it in two parts. So this is the first part where we are laying out the, you see, and it's coming close. You see what I mean? So I am happy with this. And always remember that you're also thinking about it like a sculpture. So it's three-dimensional. It's going to pop out, you see, right there. I'm trying to show the characteristics of the face by just mapping it. You see, I want to make sure that the directions go correctly, the tilt of the head is right, and then this is, you can have fun with this because this is the most critical area for you to get everything correct. You don't want to make an error there because it's going to affect the likeness. But the hair can be exaggerated a little bit, you know. So there's the hair, okay, there is this. And here is the border, comes up like this. And you want to make sure that it matches, you see the lines, I'm drawing these straight lines like this. There's a straight line up here, going right through the eyes. There's one right there, which is this is like a circle right there, the nose, you know. You have to see that, see, it's a circle right there. And behind the circle is another thing right here, which completes the nostril. Something like this, right? So, and then this distance should be correctly placed, so you have that. And as you can see, it's coming a little bit closer to her. It looks like her, right? This famous model, celebrity, wonderful model. Okay, now we go back here. And remember, portraits are not about beauty and beautiful models. It's about light and shade. That's what it's all about. It's called character study. This is, of course, a celebrity model study, but portraits are character studies, okay? So here is the next one with the eye. It's now that I know that I've placed it in almost the appropriate places, I can continue to refine them and work on them. So you see how I came to this point up to now, right? By judging the broader distances. Is the forehead too much? Is it too big? Is that right? Is this correct? Those are that's the way I'm thinking right now. I'm trying to show you how the artist is thinking, you know, as he draws. What are his problems, you know, when it comes to drawing this? So these are the problems that you're going to be encountering. Is that, and these details are absolutely critical. The tiny bends that you're making here, these tiny bends, right? That's what it's all about. You cannot miss it. It's not like a round. It's not just oval. It's like pom, pom, pom. They're geometric, tiny bends. Those bends must be reflected in your drawing. So you see the mouth, for example, right? It's not just a straight line. It's a tiny bend here, a tiny bend there, and then a tiny bend there. And you got to observe it very closely and carefully. And you know, the wonderful thing about technology is you can always make it big and double check the things later. But here it is. So I'm trying to keep this so that we have an overall view of what we're looking at and where we're trying to go, all right? So now we established this part, guys. We got this, we have this. Do I have this in my picture? Those are the things that I'm trying to keep. You see, there's a thing there, right? And then the hair is coming down like that. You know, these strands of hair, they really bring the character out. So you have to be careful how to that you don't miss any of this in your drawing. You have to be able to show this little tiny, that reflected light that's coming up here and the big broad lighted strand of hair, right? All these should be carefully adjusted. So now I'm trying to get to her likeness, but before I do that, I'm trying to bring all the other parts together right now. And I'm still in the stage of laying down the first part. We'll go to the details in a minute, but you see the eye, there's a lot of gap. And at this point, I think I should use an eraser to kind of start erasing some of this to show the lights that are just above her eyes. Right, there's slightly better. The nose seems to be broader, as you can see. You see that bridge of the nose is broader, right? So you want to go back. And this is how you do this. You see the bridge is corrected slightly. Okay, and so there it is. So what I want you to focus on is these. You see the line there? You see the line here? And you should be able to get this. You should be able to get that. And see, those are very important. These planes, so that you can see that it's actually a cube, or it tapers off. It's not simply a flat surface. It's going like that. Boom, the forehead. All right, those are the things we're going to work on, and then we do this in part 2 if you're going to tune it up. Once again, certainly recommend me to your friends. Keep tuning in. I'm going to be putting up videos every single day. I'm going to be talking about it as well. So there is the upper eyelid. There is the upper eyelid. There is the eyebrow. And there is the eyebrow right there. Okay, and now, once again, we only have about a couple of minutes, so I'm going to see in part 1, did I establish the basics? I believe we did. Okay, see, there you go. And that's the arm right there. We're not worried about that, so we can always come back to those things later. But once again, this here, as related to the eye. See, this one here must be erased a little bit broader, I believe it is. Okay, and then if you come down here, and then the lower lip, my concern still is with the proportions at this point, and not details. It's these border lines. It's the outlines, because like I said before, the outline is going to establish the form, but you have to fill in the form, the area of the form, which is going to come later. Okay, so there you go, guys, and here is the middle of the eye that should be about here. And you want to make sure that she's looking at you. She's looking at you like this. So that should be right there. And this should be right about here. And we're going to come back to these and fix it in part 2 of this, okay? So once again, we only have about a minute left. So certainly tune in. Hit that like button. I would appreciate it very much. Thank you all for tuning in, and please remember, you're going to have to do thousands of this. Keep working on them every single day. There's nothing better to do than drawing a picture. I'm going to tell you that right now, okay? All the others are not that interesting. Drawing a picture is a mental exercise that's going to uplift you and make you perform well in just about anything else in life. All right? So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Have a great day.